Thought I'd walk and talk again today. I notice my neck every time I talk. Oh, I am my own worst critic. So, I did do a little Dear Diary yesterday. I gotta vent just a little bit today, Dear Diary. In all my years, so we moved onto this farm November 2015. So, 10 years, right? I ran a hip camp. It's like Airbnb except for campers, and was top in Kentucky. Was, voted, I think I was number 1 for 2 years. I was in the top 3 the 3rd year, and I always ranked in the top 5 every year that I was doing it. Got really popular, great reputation, really had a tiger by the tail, absolutely loved it. It actually, when my husband had his accident, it helped us survive. It replaced his paycheck while he was in the hospital and healing and out of work for a couple months. So I've never had any, in the beginning I had some issues, just because nobody knew me here in Leesburg. I had to create some boundaries, and I got a reputation, mostly stuck up. Everybody, at least what I heard was, I was stuck up, but just protecting my property, I would only allow certain things. But in the 10 years, I have had construction companies have big, like, barbecues and big company parties, like 3 days. I've had people rent the place for family reunions. I've had, I don't even know what they were called. They were like a hasher group or something like that. Basically a beer club that liked to hike. My family calls them the naked group because the 3 days that they were here, from the last gate back, my children were not allowed back. It was an 18 and up only, mostly due to the nakedness. They partied. Fun, loving, wonderful group. And they really thrashed on the place. But you couldn't tell. You couldn't tell. Everybody who's ever been here, the most I've had to do is I'll hop in the ATV, the side-by-side, my truck, whatever, and go back and I'll drive through. Sometimes there'll be a Bluetooth speaker that was left behind, or a hunting knife, or a fish fillet knife, things like that. That, just fell out of the truck or just didn't get picked up. So this weekend, I had a group here. Mind you, it was only around 130 people in this group. All dudes, no females. And I say that because I think if there had been any females, it would have been a different situation. I'm not knocking you men, but I do think when women are involved, there's a difference. So I tell my kid yesterday, hey, hop in the mule while I'm doing X. You go and do a drive-through. Drive-through. He knows. We've been doing this 10 years. Everybody in the family knows the gist, what we do. Drive-through. And I told him, I said, hey, if you find a camp knife or if you find a little something, you can have it. He comes back and he's got a wallet He's got shoes. He's got a hard hat. He's got water jugs. He's got he's filled up the mule, the ATV. I said, whoa, 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 whoa. And he's like, no, 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 you said. I'm like, but wait, what? In all my 10 years here on this property, with all the parties that we have hosted, with all the things that have gone on here, never has my property been so disrespected and trashed and left for me and my children to clean up. 3 truckloads of trash. I don't even know how many burnt camp chairs. There was one good tent still that once I picked through it, it's still good, brand new. It's like they just left it and then it got knocked over. I don't even know. 4, 5, 6 coolers, charging stations, food still in the coolers, car keys, boots, 2 wallets. And the amount of trash. And they bagged up some, but I've had to, it's been 2 days. This is my 2nd day that I have had to spend my time. I have other things to do, but it's okay. We were laughing at breadcrumbs. Instead of breadcrumbs, they're beer cans. And then when I was walking through the property today, because we got most of the trash picked up, now I had to pick up glass, broken glass around the fire pits. Just, all this stuff, right? And that's in the fire pits, around the fire pits. My porta-johns were trashed. And, it's one thing you want to use a porta-john. That's what they're there for. This is like they used it like a trash can. Like anyways. They just threw stuff down and threw it into the woods and threw it along the trails and threw it, just beer cans after beer. That was all. There was no water drinking this weekend for them. I don't even know. I went back to the leader of the group and also the one who contacted me initially, and I circled his very original when he reached out to me and said, hey, my name is, and I have a group and we do this annual thing, and and I circled where he said how respectful he is and how they are take pride in leaving a place how they found it. I took pictures, I took video, and I circled that text message and that specific part and sent that to him. Of course I got the, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry, I left, not me. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. They told me they took care of. Yeah. Yeah, they rolled out, man. All they had to do was take all that crap to the dumpster, But I gotta say, along with the trash and treating the porta-johns like they did and all the stuff, there's underwear I picked up just today that I found 4 pair of underwear. And my daughter says, what were they doing? Why are they getting naked? The amount of clothes, jeans, shirts, hoodies. But a couple of my, good trees. I had a couple. I know this is weird. I'm probably out of everything. All right, you can break my heart, disappoint me, make me sad. In humans, mankind sucks. And it's becoming more and more frequent that it's just, I try and be nice, and this is how I'm treated. But, and don't tell me, oh, well, a group that large. No, I've had bigger groups. I've had groups, 300, 400 people out here that when they left, the most I saw was tracks in the field. Just where it might have rained, and they, it's just part of it. There's just tire tracks in the, So, no, this was this group. I'm this close to contacting the dean of the college, or whoever, somebody at the college, the university that this group came from. But we'll see. But they cut down like good trees. Like, I've got all these dead trees. I've got all these fallen trees. There's so much firewood here. But like I nicknamed it my squirrel site. I have these 3 trees that were great hammock trees, to put your hammock. And the 3 of them, you could do 2 hammocks. It was just a great little situation. I've been mowing and grooming this campsite for a few years. And it's gone like to the root. Down to the root, they took it. They took a few trees. Now that one kind of hurt, because I'd been grooming that campsite particularly. So, I don't know. I've never had any issues until now. And I've had a few little squabbles here and there. My only concern this weekend was more thinking I might have to call the cops because they get too rowdy. And I even told them, heads up, I will escort your butt out of here so fast if you get too rowdy. There's no reason why back here that there should be such a ruckus that I get involved. And if I get involved, well, please don't make me get involved. I didn't dream that they would be so disrespectful. And my mom said, well, just imagine, I know a bunch of 15 and 16-year-old boys, and she named a few of them. She said, just imagine them in about 5 years being unsupervised with unlimited amount of alcohol back in the woods, and no women to keep them in check. Men tend to peacock a little different when women are around. Women tend to mother hen, tidy and keep them in check in some way. Even when we're young, we tend to do that. So I was just like, they cut my trees. They cut the good trees. They couldn't even go and get the dead ones, or ones that were already fell. Yeah, we're cutting my good hammock tree. I don't even know, and I've complained, but honestly, like my kids last night were, why don't we call them and make them come clean it up? First of all, are we going to leave it a disaster until they do? Second of all, they're not gonna. I already got 2 of them saying it wasn't me, so you just chalk it up to a lesson learned and move on. Never, ever will they ever step foot on this property as long as I'm here anyways. And I'm still debating on blasting them. I've got the university that they came from, the group. I've got pictures and all kinds of stuff, and I've debated. I'm still debating we'll see what more I find. Now I'm 2 days in. I've gotten everything pretty much. They duct taped things that I don't even know. I don't even know. I'm just like, this generation is different. So anyways, that's my vent. I've spent half my day today taking care of this. And then all day yesterday. I almost cried. It was just one of those where you just like, what? Hopefully the Porta-John stuff doesn't cost me money. If it does, I'm sending them a bill. I will contact the university. And then, oh, God, please send a buyer. I'm having more and more bad experience. And I didn't 10 years of having this place, and it's been wonderful. And, in less than a month, I had the one campers that I let come on the property, which shame on me, because here lately I have said, if I don't know you, if you're not one of my regulars, and if I don't know you, then who referred you? Because I'm going to hold them responsible for you, And that's what I've done. And here last month, I let somebody on the property that I did not know. I was trying to help out, was not referred to me. And within 3 days of them being on my property, they were going through my barn arena, and stealing camping gear, stealing my husband's tools, stealing firewood, stealing ice, etc. And then you got this, where I'm happy to host a party. I'm happy. I love the idea of come out, hang out. This is a safe space for you to get a little drunk and camp and hang out. It's a safe space. But you cut my trees. You trashed my property. But anyways. So I'm back here. I had to tow one of the vehicles back. It quit while we were back here cleaning up, so I had to tow it back and then walk back here and get my other one. So that's my Dear Diary for today. Journal entry Tuesday, whatever today is, October something. Yeah. Peace out.